Okay, this is Paul Grafton, the American Rambler. I am back. It seems like the bricks and minifigs BAM legal situation is exploding all over the internet. This is a classic sign of uh, a big guy versus a little guy. And most Americans are rooting for the little guy. Now, I'm going to take it a little different tact about this because there is a different little guy, or maybe more like a medium little guy, the franchise owners. They're saying, well, the franchise owners have nothing to do with big corporate. Unfortunately, that is wrong because they are funding big corporate between the franchise fees and and getting a portion of the income. Now, one of the things is um, saying, well, they just need to walk away or close down. It's going to be a little bit harder than that, saying, oh, you don't have to boycott the small business. Yes, we do have to boycott the small business. We have to pressure all 300 stores to file a class action lawsuit against Briggs and Minifigs, uh, saying that they hurt the brand, and their store is suffering because of this. Now, franchise agreements are notoriously one-sided in favor of corporate. Getting out of a bricks and minifigs contract isn't as simple as just rebranding or walking away. However, given the current environment where the brand's reputation has been heavily impacted by the viral Reckless Ben and Brian Mansell controversy, current franchises actually have unique specific leverage to force an exit now. Franchisees can get out of the bricks and minifigs agreement through several strategic avenues. One, they're leveraging brand diminishment, the controversy escape. In other words, saying, we bought this at this value because of your reckless behavior, whoever side you're on. This is no longer at this value. We want some of our money back, or we want all of it, or we want out of it. It is hurting our business. A standard clause in almost all franchise agreement mandates that the franchisor must maintain the integrity and reputation of the brand. Uh, because the Salem, Oregon controversy resulted in a nationwide review bombing, severe internet backlash, and public relations nightmare, franchises can argue that the corporate actions directly crippled their local business revenue. So, in order for them to get out of the franchise agreement, we need to not shop at any franchise. The strategy is the franchise owners can work with the franchise attorney to argue that BAM Corporate breached its implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing by destroying the local brand's local goodwill. Its sales have dropped dramatically as a direct result of the corporate scandal. This serves as a strong legal grounds to demand a mutual rescission of the contract without paying early termination penalties. This is according to Luther Leonard. I am not an attorney. I am not giving any legal advice here. I am just repeating what I have researched. Another way, which I do not like, is finding an approved buyer, because this still allows them to give money to corporate. Corporate needs to be starved of their finances. They tried doing that to Ben. Now it needs to be shocked back to them and saying that uh, saying that, oh, they no longer have the legal right to do that. Okay, so I don't like this one. And the default out is corporate repossession, as seen with the original sale of the store, can essentially force corporate's hand by defaulting on their financial obligations or operational strategy. Okay, but here's the thing: they, the franchise owners still put their own money into this, so they're not going to be able to get their money out. Okay, now according to Kill Commons law, if a store stops paying its corporate royalty fees or breaches specific operational mandates, BAM Corporate will issue a default notice. If the owner refuses or is unable to cure the default within the standard window, usually 30 to 60 days, depending on state law, corporate will step in to repossess the store. This is according to KIL Commons law. Uh, okay, not me. Once again, I'm not a lawyer, not giving any legal advice to any franchisees. I'm just saying, hey, this is what's happening. These are the things they can take, but they should first consult an attorney. Okay. While successfully terminates the franchise agreement, corporate can heavily penalize the owner by suing for liquidated damages. And we do not want to do that because we do not want to give them any money. Okay. Um, so franchisees have like a 5 to 10 year contract term, or they can physical assets of the store to pay off the debt. This is according to Luther Leonard, not me. Okay? Not doing it. Another way is negotiating a walkaway settlement. In other words, if this is another way why boycotting is good of boycotting a franchisee, it allows them to negotiate a walkaway settlement with BAM. And once again, this is according to Luther Leonard, LUTHRLANARD. I strongly suggest you go look up Luther and Kill Commons law and to find out. So attorneys can negotiate a flat termination fee with BAM Corporate, but the other part is it still gives BAM Corporate money. Now here's the independent brand rebrand. If the owner wants to keep selling Lego independently, they have to navigate the non-compete clause. Standard BAM agreements simply ban former owners from operating a tour brick ale shop within certain radius for 25 to 50 for 1 or 2 years. After leaving, a skilled lawyer would have to negotiate a waiver for this specific clause to allow an immediate rebrand. Okay, but I would take this with a grain of salt, as this is Reddit. Ultimately, the tightest and safest road for a BAM owner right now is combining option 1 and option 4 and using the brand's damaged reputation from lawsuits and drama as legal crowbar to negotiate a clean, low-cost break from the corporation. Once again, from Luther Leonard, I have nothing to do with him. I have no idea if he's an attorney or not. I'm not an attorney. Okay. But this is what I found on the internet during my research. And BAM, the best way to do this is if all 300 of you band together to sue BAM Corporate. Because even after 2 months, the reputational damage to the brand is gone. You will not regain back a majority of your customer base. That is my opinion. That is not legal advice.